There is a formula for success when it comes to Facebook and Instagram ads, and knowing 3 key components to this formula will dictate whether or not your campaign will sink or swim. Hi everyone, it's Patrick from Flood Your Business. Make sure that you subscribe with your notification bell on. We will be dropping content every week to help you grow your business. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about 3 main components that you should have a deep understanding about if you want to run a successful ad campaign. And the 3 components that we're going to be talking about are your competition, your actual ad, and metrics. So knowing how much competition that you have in your actual niche is really important because that's going to dictate pretty much how much ad spend that you're going to have to spend in competition with other people who are actually offering what you provide for your service or product. So in another video, I talked about what's called page transparency. And basically, this is a way for you to go in and take a look at your competition's ads and what they're up to. This is really important because you can start to position yourself against your competition by understanding what they're offering and how they're offering it with the content that they're actually putting in their ad. You want to start asking yourself, how can you do better with the creative that you're putting out there? How can you do better with the offer that they're offering? And how can you position yourself differently so that they're no longer competition and you're in a league of your own? The next component is your ad. We've made a lot of videos on this and I'll put some links in the description and on the end of this video, but let's talk about content. I will say that the best performing ads that we see are not only high quality, but they are exciting. You want to make sure that you're making exciting content. So think through the eyes of the prospect. And the last thing I will say is that if your content can, in an exciting way, demonstrate exactly what it is that they're getting with your offer, you're going to have a high performing ad. So with your content, you want to start thinking about your offer and how you can differentiate yourself. One of the ways that we help our clients do this is think about the top 3 things that your client actually really need help with, what problems they may be having, and then figure out a way how you can bundle something into your service where you're helping them with those problems. So they're not only getting your service, but they're also getting so much more value that they're way more likely to actually opt in and start doing business with you other than your competition. The next big thing is targeting. We've talked a lot about this in other videos, but what I will say is that if you're local, stay local. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see with ads. I see people from out of state or different countries targeting me when there's no way I would ever use their service because it's a proximal service. Now, if you're a digital business, if you're online and you're new to ads, I would recommend staying in your own time zone to begin with because it can be quite complicated when you're dealing with multiple ad sets and trying to figure out exactly how to prune your campaign. So stay small and grow larger into other time zones. The last component is understanding your metrics, and really having a deep understanding of exactly how this works will let you know, number 1, if a campaign is actually viable, and also it will give you some insight into projecting how much money you could possibly spend on a campaign. So the first target metric that is really important that we generally identify when it comes to working with our clients is a cost per lead. So again, this is going to vary depending upon the service and also the product. However, we like to try to aim for $10 or less when it comes to actually acquiring a lead. And when we say lead, that means that somebody has given you some type of information where you can then communicate with them as a prospect and potential client. The next is knowing your break even, and this is probably the most easy metric to figure out. This is essentially the cost of your product or service. So if you've spent $150 on marketing and you sold $150, then that is your break even. Next is your cost per sell. This is how much money that you actually had to spend to make a sell, and this could be, again, for any product or service. And the last important metric is knowing your average lifetime of a client. So obviously this doesn't apply if you're doing a one-time sell, but if you are doing reoccurring business, this is really important to know because that's going to give you a projection of how much money you will make in the long run once you sell somebody on this service. All right, so let's put this into practice with some very simple math, okay? Let's say that your break even is $100 and you sold somebody after spending $50. Okay, you made another $50. So your profit total is $50. Now let's say your average lifetime of a client is 2 months. Your total was $150 of profit for that campaign. Now, I know not everybody's great at math, and that's okay, but when you go into a campaign, you really want to understand these metrics. You want to understand your break even, how much leads are costing you, and how much money it took for you to actually sell. Then when you stack on top the lifetime value of a client, you can really then look into the future of a campaign and say, okay, we can actually add more money into this campaign and do what we call vertical scaling, which is essentially just adding more money so you get more traffic through that campaign. The last thing I will say is knowing your metrics and understanding your metrics is really important, because quite often as human beings we make decisions based off of emotions. Perhaps things aren't going well in a campaign, but if you know your metrics, it gives you an opportunity to disassociate yourself from those emotions and start making decisions based off of numbers, which is exactly how we want to start to scale campaigns. We do have a simple spreadsheet that we use with our clients where they can plug in simple numbers and understand what's happening in a campaign and also be able to project the future of a campaign. If you're interested in downloading that, join our free Facebook group. I'll add a link to the description below. You can also find hundreds of other marketing tools that we store there for free. All right, that is it for now. Don't forget to subscribe with your notification bell on. We will be dropping content every week to help you grow your business.